Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another vlog, and I have a few things I want to talk to you guys about today. So, the first thing I want to get to is the recent bringing to the public's attention of Demi Lovato's ex-cocaine habit. Thankfully, she has received help, so I can say, for at least right now, it is an ex-habit. And thankfully, she did go get help, so there won't be any chastisement such as tequila on my last vlog. But she stated that at 19 years old, she would do cocaine in first class while everyone was sleeping, or would go into the bathroom because she could barely go 30 minutes without a fix. And for a 19-year-old, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I'm not saying that, well, it is a bad thing. I was going to say I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's actually a horrible thing. But unfortunately, it came to the fact of she was throwing up in the back of a car with a Sprite bottle full of vodka at around 9 a.m. And then she realized, alright, I need help. I need to stop this. And it's just, why did it take her that long? Thankfully, she didn't overdose or do anything stupid while on the drugs, but she did go receive help for her addiction. And the kicker of the story is her mother was in denial at the fact that her daughter was a cocaine addict. And I understand there is the feeling of shock and remorse and regret of you didn't raise your child better or you failed as a parent. I understand that it's hard to confront your child about these things. But I honestly do not feel that her mother should have allowed this to continue, knowing with how many people have overdosed and died on cocaine, because cocaine is a very powerful drug. At the rate that she was doing it, it could have very easily killed her if she had taken too much or her body started to go through withdrawals, because I understand that women's bodies are more tolerant than men to a lot of things, such as, well, not really tolerant so much as more tougher to a lot of things such as childbirth and things along those lines. But with how many men have died of cocaine overdose, doing it half as much as Demi Lovato, she honestly needs to be very thankful to her, I guess you'd say, guardian angel, stars, or whatever she believes in, that she is not gone at the moment in time. And her mother as well. But it's just absolutely appalling that a mother could allow that to continue. If you're watching this and you believe your child is on drugs, confront them about it. Don't allow them to continue to kill themselves slowly. Don't allow them to continue with the self-destructive behavior. And bring it to their attention that they need to seek help, and you and the rest of the family is behind them 100% on seeking help. I understand they could have hurt you or they could have stolen some things, but you still need to be there for them in their time of need. They're still your flesh and blood, no matter whether or not you're mad, no matter whether or not you've thrown them out because you can't do anything for them or things along that nature. But still, they're your family. They're your flesh and blood. And if you're the mother, you carried them for 9 months. And, I mean, that's all I've really got to say on that, other than mothers, help your children. I know my mom helped me a lot while I was growing up, and I'm forever in her debt, and forever grateful at the fact of she did everything she did for me that allowed me to be sitting here in front of my recording device and actually be able to tell you all the things that I know for, I guess you'd say, advice. But moving on to another drug-related topic, Uruguay is the first country in modern history to legalize marijuana usage for a recreational use or no, not even recreational, just legalize it all around. It was announced the bill passed Tuesday, and it was just announced today. Well, technically yesterday, it's after midnight here, so. But it was released Wednesday that the Uruguayan, however you pronounce that the government of Uruguay, the president and the Senate had met and passed the bill that will legalize the usage of marijuana for any registered Uruguayan resident or Uruguay resident 18 years older or more to buy up to 40 grams of marijuana at any given dispensary or store, I guess. But again, this may actually hurt Uruguay's population in the sense of, yes, you're going to have all these people who leave the country, such as America, Austria, Australia, Germany, so on and so forth along those lines, to go join Uruguay. But this may, I'm not saying it will and I'm not saying it won't, may make it harder to gain citizenship inside of Uruguay's borders. And I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But what really brought this forth and what made the decision final was the Uruguay government realized they were wasting money trying to fight the war on drugs and basically just losing money more than they were stopping it from, well, more than they were stopping product reaching junkies at the street level and the main guys getting their actual shipments in. Because there's recent statistics out, I can't remember where I found them. I think it was, I just googled drug statistics. But for every one cartel that is caught, there's about 10 that are slipped under the radar that get the product to where it's supposed to go. And I mean, that's just an appalling number. Yes, I understand this is just marijuana, but marijuana is still a huge portion of drug users. I understand that most people don't see it as a drug, and I will agree it is just a plant, but you can chemically alter it too. The male form of the plant is called hemp, and that is used for rope, sandals, paper, and such along those lines, but the actual female plant is marijuana itself. And it's just absolutely appalling that Uruguay, which is a country that hasn't had much attention drawn to it before, would actually pass legislation along these lines without the U.S. bringing any type of attention to it, because the U.S. seems to think it can just police the world. And since the United States, and I think it's China and Russia as well, are world superpowers, I guess that somehow gives them the right to police the world. But if any foreign army crosses the Western Hemisphere coming towards the United States, we apparently declare war. So, but that's enough on politics. Sorry. But no, Uruguay was absolutely brilliant in passing this, in the sense of they will put a hurt on the cartel and be able to pick themselves up and actually be able to come out of financial ruin and maybe even able to improve their economy. I'm not saying they will again, and I'm not saying they won't. But that's all I'm going to address on the subjects of drugs. And now I want to talk to you about dogs. Yes, I know this is a random subject, but drugs, and dogs all start with D's, so whatever. I want to talk to you about 3 breeds that are great family dogs, especially if you have them from puppies, which I wouldn't suggest anything but unless you have younger children and you need a dog that's more tame, then yes, get a dog that's a year or so old that, excuse me, has been around the family environment. And the 3 breeds I want to suggest to you are Bulldog, Labrador Retriever, and a Pit Bull. Yes, I understand pit bulls are under a lot of, well, not really segregation, but chastisation about people fighting them. But you have to understand the dogs were not bred for violence. In fact, you cannot breed violence into an animal. There have been studies after studies after studies done to see if this is actually true. And all findings were proved to be no, you cannot breed violence into an animal's bloodline. And honestly, if you could, then I could see, alright, the German Shepherd, the Rottweiler, and one other dog. I can't remember the name of it. But I could see those breeds being killed off. But yet, the German Shepherd that everyone was against in the 80s is a United States police dog. The Rottweiler, which everyone was against, I think it was no, I think I have that backwards. The German Shepherd was in the 70s, and the Rottweiler was in the 80s. But what you have to remember is, if you're going to blame a dog for its human's actions, then everyone should blame blame you for your kids' actions. Because you taught them that. They weren't born with it. If your kid sets a school on fire, is he born with that, or is he taught it by setting other stuff on fire throughout the house and not being disciplined? Just like with a dog. If they're aggressive, I've taught mine, if you're aggressive, you get swatted on the nose. He has never been aggressive with any of the people I've ever met. And he's the sweetest dog I know. I would bring him around a newborn like I have before and hold the newborn on his back and allow him to ride him, quote, as a pony, unquote. But it's just ridiculous at the fact of the pit bull is being chastised for their owner's actions when breeds such as the Dalmatian, which actually were bred for war dogs back in, I believe it was Julius Caesar's time. I think it's one of the oldest dog breeds, yeah. Yeah, I want to say it's one of the oldest dog breeds. But were actually bred for hounds of war back in sometime BC. But if you're going to chastise a breed for its actions, don't embrace the Dalmatian. Embrace a pit bull, who in early American times was known as the nanny dog and the dog of America. But bulldogs are amazing dogs. They're loyal, they're funny, they're great cuddlers. And if it wasn't for the price tag, I'd honestly say go buy one right now. An English bulldog is so overly priced at $1,200 to, I think some variations of the breed go for $4,500, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. The breed is being just so overbred, it's not even funny. And a Labrador Retriever can be a hunting friend, it can be a loyal friend, and they are amazing guard dogs. They're amazing watchdogs, and if you train them right, they can be amazing bird dogs as well. But I just say every family should have a dog due to the fact of no family is complete without that furry child. Every family needs a dog in the sense of every family needs two people who love each other, a house, or a place to call home. I'm not suggesting get a cat because cats are evil. Just saying. But that's besides the point. I only suggest those 3 breeds because those are breeds that I've had the best interactions with. And I'd honestly suggest getting a Yorkie for those who don't like shedding dogs, because their hair mats rather than sheds, or those that don't mind dog shedding. I'd say if you want an exotic dog, Bull Terrier. If you want a common dog, a boxer, somewhere around a boxer to maybe even a mid-pin. But I just state those 3 breeds because they're my personal favorites. And the list is endless on dogs you can get. Check Craigslist in the free section. There's always puppies up for grabs there. And just, if you have a young child, a dog is the best thing for them to grow up with. They learn responsibility. They learn what love truly is. And they have somebody to grow up with side by side who will always be there no matter what. And I'm going to go ahead and end on that note. Stay tuned tomorrow for more, and I'll be sure to deliver. Check out my other videos, but always like, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.